You currently have 3 Airbnbs right now, right? Mm-hmm. 3 Airbnbs in under 6 months. If I want to start my Airbnb business today, what's the first thing I should do?
You got to check your credit. That's number one.
Okay.
You have to make sure that your credit looks good on your personal side. We're shooting for 680 and up, right? Along with that being said, after your personal credit looks good, go ahead and get your funding, right? But wait, before you even do that, you want to make sure before you apply to like get these credit cards and things like that, you want to have a structured LLC. So your business name is not a high risk. You want to make sure that you have a virtual address, right? Very, very important. You don't want nobody to go ahead and pull up to your home. So you want to have a business address. You want to get a business website. You want to go ahead and get listed on the 401 so that other people know about your business, right? So they publicize it.
Where would I go to get my business address? A virtual business address.
You could go on Alliance, a virtual Alliance. You could also go on Regis, and you'll be surprised. Like there's also local places that are nearby that will allow you to use their address.
Because I know when you make an LLC, if you put your address in, that's what's going to come up when people like search your business and stuff, right?
Yeah. You don't want to do that. You want to look more professional. Would you rather think about it from a bank's perspective. Would you rather give money to somebody who looks like they do business at home, or would you rather give money to somebody who looks like they do business in the actual building?
Probably in the actual building.
Exactly.
Okay, so now we have our credit. My credit's over 680. Right, 680, 700. I have my virtual address. I have my LLC set up. You said don't use a high risk name. Can you speak on that? Why? What type of names am I shooting for? Or what type of name should I not put for my business?
So if you're like in a TLC industry, also if you're in a real estate industry, you want to make sure that there's certain things that you don't want to put in those names. So in terms of your names, you want to make sure like maybe you could do consulting, right? You want to do something where if they look at your name, they can't guess that you do credit repair. They can't guess that you do real estate. They can't guess that you do car rentals, right? Car rentals are very much red flag, right? And not in terms of the business, but the business name, only because that also limits how much money that you make, right? If I'm a bank and I'm trying to lend my money to you and I know that, you know, you're doing car rentals and it's a high risk industry, I might be like, nah, not so much. I don't really want to give my money to you, or I will give you a little bit of money. So it's very, very important that you do that because they also give you this industry code. It's very, very important that you know that if you have a high risk name and they put you in the wrong industry, that will also limit how much money they'll give you on your funding. So if you go to the website when you first make your name, of course, definitely do your research in terms of high risk business names to stay away from, so that when you do your business, that you know what name is good for you. And then always do a business search, right? You want to search your name on the state website. You want to make sure that you're actually searching up a business name so that you don't have the same business as somebody else, right? Because what if you get an LLC and then you figure out somebody has a trademark, somebody already has that same business name as you? That would be disheartening. So
how do I get funding for my Airbnb? Like, how do I go about like the process?
That's good. So when it comes to your credit, you want to make sure that the data points are exactly like the bank's. So you want to have at least 3 to 5 accounts on your personal account. You want to make sure that you have 5 years of history on average. You want to make sure that you have minimum 3 inquiries or less on each credit report. You want to make sure that you have nothing negative. So no collections, no derogatory remarks, no repossessions, no charge-offs, nothing negative. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. And then you want to make sure for your credit limit is at least you have about $2,500 or $3,000 and up on your credit limit, because you have to understand whatever you have on your personal, don't expect to go to Chase Bank to get $20,000 if the only thing that you know how to handle is $500 on your personal, right? So you want to actually at least have $2,500 on that credit limit that you're starting with. And then after you do that, you want to get a business account. Now, as soon as you get your LLC, you should get a business checking account with any business that you decide to do relationship with, because the day that you actually open up a business account is the day that you're really legit for real. So as soon as you get your business account, there are some banks that will allow, you know, businesses that just start off their LLC, startup businesses, to get funding, right? So as long as your profile is good, like exactly what I just told you, and you have about got a 680 or 700 credit score and your profile is like 10 out of 10, exactly what I just said, then you can actually go to, banks that have, the no doc. So what that really means is they're not going to ask you for a tax return. They're not going to ask you for profit and loss. They're not going to ask you for those type of documentations because they know that you're a new business. So what they may ask you for is your articles of organization. This is when you first get your LLC. They'll ask you for that. Some banks may ask you for your certificate of formation, right? That's another document that you print out just saying that you're a legit business. And then they'll ask you for your EIN number with your social security and with your EIN number and just your person, your ID. And so with that being said, after you do that, you ask the bank while you're there, hey, are there anything else that I can apply for, right? If that's a credit card, because they want to give you the money. That's how the banks are able to make their money. And so they might tell you like, yeah, like we got this starter up for you. We could go ahead and apply for it right now. And you may walk out the bank with $20,000. No, it's like a credit card. You get a credit card, you get a line of credit.
So you said that when you're applying, you need a 680 credit score and above, and also that you need to have like 5 years. What happens if I'm 20, right? And I was only able to get my credit card for 2 years. How would that work for me?
So honestly, you would need something called like an AU, right? You would need to be an authorized user, right, on somebody else's credit. So there's this website called Trade Supply where they literally, let's just say I had a credit card with $10,000 on there. $10,000 on there. It has 10 years. You can actually use this as a business, right? People that have credit cards and they don't use anything for it, as they age, that can be useful to somebody else like myself that needs the years, right? So does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Okay, cool. So let's just say I have 10 years. I have a 10K limit, right? You're like, Nene, I don't have any history, but I'm trying to go ahead and get this business funding. So I know that I need the years. So on Trade Supply, what happens is people that own these credit cards will allow you to come on my credit card for about 2 months. Right. So my years of history and my credit limit will go ahead and report on your credit report so that you can use that data point. You could use the history to go ahead and apply for the funding at the time.
Okay. So you said that. So basically, like, let's say my years is like 2 years. When I get the 10 years, now my years is 12 years, right?
It's going to average it out. It's going to take your oldest account and your newest account and average it out.
So it'll be, okay. So let's say at 2 months, it'll be 6 months.
But always when getting the AU, you always want to go. I always go for 15 years.
15 years and up.
Yeah, I always go for 15 years. Some people go for 10.
But you said it's only 2 months though. You have a short span of time to do what you need to do.
Yeah, so when you get that AU, you don't know that other person. Of course, they're charging you so that you could go ahead and do what you got to do with it, right? So you have 2 years to go ahead and get the money from the banks. When it comes to
2 years?
No, 2 months. I'm sorry, okay. 2 months. 2 months to go ahead and get the funding from the banks, right? Meaning, since you get the money, after you get the money, you should know exactly what you need to do with the money. Meaning, go put it into an asset. Don't get this business funding and then do nothing with it, right? So with that being said, when you actually go through the funding process, it should really take you less than 30 days. Not gonna lie.
To get funded.
Yeah.
And how much can I be looking at? Like I get my LLC new account. Like how much could I be looking at?
Personal and business, 100K or more.
100K or more.
Yeah. I'm so serious.
100K or more.
I'm so serious because you could get 50K from Chase with the Amex cards. In the beginning, like there is no limit, but they want to see how much you can actually like spend. There's a preset limit. Like there's a preset limit. What's
a preset limit? I don't
know.
So
a preset limit is like, let's just say you spend $5,000, right? But then they're gonna be like, okay, you gotta chill out. We want to see if you're able to, pay it back. So then they might tell you like your preset limit is $5,000. So they're basically trying to see like if you could pay it back.
Okay. In a certain amount of time, or is it like?
Yeah, it's like a regular credit card.
Okay.
So then if you continue to pay more, and if you continue to pay more and spend more, like then they'll continue to increase it. Yes,
they test you. It's like they test you to see if you could pay the credit. When I'm getting the funding, I need to execute this play fast. Am I doing this by myself? Like, how does that process work when I'm applying for like the funding? When I'm going to get like the business credit cards, the business lines of credit, is this something I'm doing by myself, or is it something I can get help with?
Some people do it by themselves, right? If you know what you're doing, right? There's a lot of information on the internet, and some people go to people that are just in the industry that do funding themselves, right? The reason why a lot of people may go to a funder is because they don't know what to put on the applications, right? A lot of us, we mess up when it comes to the applications because we put the wrong numbers, right? It asks you, what is the annual income of your business? You may fold and you like, well, I just started the business, so maybe 50K, right? And the banks might deny you like, No, right? Because with that, when they say like this is a no doc and you could get a lot of money, you're gonna put a projected number on there, right? So people could put up to 100K on there, right?
Even if they're not making that much, even if their business is not making that much money.
Yes, because it's a projected annual income.
Do you get penalized at all? Like, let's say like your business doesn't make that 100,000 like the first year.
Now, if you say $250,000, the only thing that they're going to do is literally call you and may ask you for pay stubs.
Okay.
So yeah, like that might be the only consequence, and then you get declined.
Okay, so what happens if I put something crazy like $1 million or something?
Okay, you're tripping. You're gonna get denied.
They're gonna deny you off of that.
I need to see the proof. They're gonna call you. Hey, we need to see the proof. You're making $1 million your first year.
I
don't know. I gotta see. That's all.
Now I have this funding, so I go through this whole process. I have the $100,000. Can you share how much money you got? Like a range of how much did you get for when you got funded for your Airbnb?
Okay. Personal and business, I got over 50K.
Personal and business, you got over 50K.
Yeah.
Wait, when you say personal, how many credit cards do you have?
Ooh, over 10.
You have over. Dang, I have 5, and I think that's a lot. You have 10?
Are you serious? I have a whole like.
Name me the 10 off your. All
of them. Okay. I have Chase. I have Chase Unlimited. I have Chase Preferred. I have the Navy Federal card. I have the Amex Gold. I have the Barclays, that card. I have Discover It. I have Service Credit Union. I have
Capital One.
Nah, I got Golden Marcus. I got actually 2 of them. The business. I got the Apple card. Nah, I think that might be it.
So you have 9 cards.